So the purpose of this is to think about the world as it is around your team topic and what's wrong with that world. What's wrong with the world as it is as it relates to access to resources or children or housing and homelessness, okay? Poverty is the lack of physical and financial resources to the extent that it keeps people from participating fully in their community.
What's kind of out there right now that's really holding us back?
It is a growing problem, not only poverty but also income insecurity.
We know that the numbers in Eau Claire County are rising. We also know that poverty may not be what people usually think of. It might be people working 2 jobs. It might be your neighbor who you would not think is in poverty, but they're struggling just to get by and make it.
Apathy, isolation, and not seeing the problem.
To a large extent, it's almost invisible. About half of our households don't meet the level of just meeting their basic education, transportation, healthcare needs. And I don't think we see that. It's almost like a hidden layer that we just don't see the struggles that people have that affects their ability to participate fully in the community. And I think that's the community we want to have. And that's part of what we hope we'll be able to address here.
Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any maps of the world.
Poverty is something we can address and we have addressed. I think in terms of what we need to do as engaged citizens, yeah, it starts in our backyards, our neighborhoods, our communities.
Too often we are all within our own sheltered little lives and we're not aware of what's going on in the community, the county, the state, the world. What I find encouraging about the Poverty Summit and an opportunity to have an event like this is the fact that it gives people a chance to talk about it and to become aware of it.
Here we came up with over 300 issues.
Poverty is measurable, so there is a way to decrease poverty, and that is attainable.
Awareness and stigma.
Instead of just continually talking about it, Clear Vision really wants to make it attainable and take those action steps and actually do something about it.
All right, you guys, let's give a big hand to our coaches.
It's not something that we fix. We don't know all the parts of the question, but we certainly don't know all the answers. So the real challenge is how do we make the situation better than it is now? And that's what we're focusing on here, is to have a significant impact over the initial phase of this process, which is a couple of years, but especially in having an impact of what that does to the community itself. To the extent that you have kids in poverty that don't get enough to eat and it affects their brain development, I think we can do something about that. To the extent that you have a significant portion of families that qualify for earned income tax credit and don't file for it, I think we can do something about that. So I think what we'll see is our ability to identify some very specific things that we can do that will improve the situation. Whether you ever will fix or eradicate poverty, I'll probably leave that to the economists and theologians. I don't know, but I'm convinced that we can make it better, make the situation better here. Example of what's wrong with the world might be the lack of affordable, reliable transportation to and from Augusta and Eau Claire for people that want to pursue additional education and job skill training.
I am optimistic. I have seen things work, and I think it can be worked on a large scale, and I think what we're doing here is something that could be replicated other places.
Next steps for a meeting, a separate meeting that teams will be scheduling between now and